Australia, a vast island continent surrounded by oceans and filled with diverse landscapes. A land of sweeping deserts that stretch endlessly and lush rainforests teeming with life. It is ancient, with a history that goes back tens of thousands of years. Its story is written in rock art, etched into stone by the hands of the ancestors and whispered on the wind that carries the voices of the past. This is a land of stories, where every rock, tree and river has a tale to tell. Stories that go back to the dream time, a sacred era when the world was formed. The dream time is the heart of Aboriginal belief, a time when ancestral spirits created the land and all living things. It is the time of creation, a period that is both timeless and ever-present in the lives of Aboriginal people. Ancestral beings, powerful spirits, shaped the land, carving out rivers, mountains and valleys. They left behind their stories, inscribed in rock carvings and sacred sites that dot the landscape. These stories are sacred, holding the wisdom of the ages. They are passed down through generations, from elders to children, ensuring that the knowledge and traditions endure. These stories tell us something important about the land, the people, and the deep connections that bind them. They tell us that Australia has always been a land of deep spiritual connection, where every element of nature is revered. It is a connection between the people and the land, a bond that is both physical and spiritual. It is a connection that endures to this day as modern Aboriginal communities continue to honour and maintain their traditions, keeping the ancient stories alive. Stories. When did the first Australians arrive? This question has intrigued historians, archaeologists and scientists for generations. It is a question that echoes through time, resonating with the mysteries of our ancient past. The answer lies buried in ancient campsites, hidden beneath layers of earth and history. It is hidden in the DNA of the Aboriginal people, a genetic code that tells the story of their incredible journey. What we know is this: they came a long time ago, long before recorded history. Some say 40,000 years, based on carbon dating of ancient artifacts. Some say 65,000 years. Imagine that journey, a journey of survival, resilience and discovery. Across land bridges long gone, connecting continents in ways we can only imagine today. Across vast stretches of water, they came by boat, navigating the open seas with skill and courage. They came to a new land, a land of diverse landscapes and untold possibilities. They made it their home, establishing communities and traditions that have endured for millennia. They spread out across the continent, from the arid deserts to the lush rainforests. They adapted to its diverse environments, mastering the art of survival in every corner of the land. From the deserts to the tropics, they thrived in harmony with nature. From the mountains to the sea, they were explorers, hunters and gatherers. They were survivors. They were the first Australians, the original custodians of this ancient land, whose legacy continues to inspire and teach us today. The first Australians were not one people. They were many different groups. They had their own languages, they had their own customs, but they were connected. They were connected by their relationship to the land. They were hunters and gatherers. They lived in harmony with nature. They knew the secrets of the land. They knew how to find food and water in the harshest conditions. They were skilled artists and storytellers. Their art told their stories. Stories of the dream time, stories of their ancestors, stories of their lives. They painted on rock walls. They carved into trees. They created art that has lasted for millennia. For thousands of years, the first Australians lived undisturbed. Then everything changed. Strangers arrived from a distant land. They came from Europe. They came in big ships. They were explorers. In 1770, Captain James Cook charted the east coast of Australia. He claimed the land for the British Crown. This act had far-reaching consequences. It marked the beginning of a new chapter in Australia's history. It was a chapter that would bring great change. It would bring conflict and hardship. But it would also, in time, lead to the birth of a new nation. Section 5, a new flag flies. The British saw opportunity in Australia. They saw a land rich in resources. They saw a place to send their convicts. In 1788, the first fleet arrived. It carried over 1,000 convicts and their jailers. They landed at Botany Bay. This marked the beginning of British colonisation. It was a difficult time. The colonists struggled to survive. They clashed with the Aboriginal people, but the colony grew. More convicts arrived. Free settlers followed. They pushed further inland. They claimed more land. The face of Australia was changing. Section 6. A land transformed. The arrival of the British had a profound impact on the Aboriginal people. They were driven from their lands. They were ravaged by disease. Their way of life was disrupted. The colonists cleared the land for farming. They introduced sheep and cattle. They built towns and cities. The Australian landscape was transformed. The discovery of gold in the 1850s brought a new wave of immigration. People from all over the world flocked to Australia. They dreamed of striking it rich. Section 7. The lure of gold. Gold fever gripped the nation. People abandoned their homes and jobs. They rushed to the gold fields. Tent cities sprang up overnight. It was a time of great excitement. It was also a time of hardship and danger. The gold rush had a lasting impact on Australia. It boosted the economy. It led to the growth of cities like Melbourne and Sydney. It also changed the social fabric of the nation. The gold rush brought an influx of people from diverse backgrounds. It challenged the existing social order. It contributed to the development of a more egalitarian society. Section 8. One people, one nation. As the colonies grew, so did a sense of national identity. People began to think of themselves as Australians. They wanted to govern themselves. They wanted to be united. On January 1st, 1901, the 6 British colonies federated. They became states in a new nation, the Commonwealth of Australia. This was a momentous occasion. It marked the birth of a new nation. The new nation adopted a democratic system of government. It embraced the principles of equality and opportunity. It was a fresh start. It was a chance to build a better future. Section 9. Echoes of distant battles. The 20th century brought new challenges, transforming societies and altering the course of history. World War I broke out in 1914, marking the beginning of a global conflict that would change the world forever. Australia, as part of the British Empire, was called upon to fight, sending its sons to distant shores. Thousands of young Australians enlisted, driven by a sense of duty, adventure, and loyalty to the Empire. They fought bravely on distant battlefields, enduring unimaginable hardships in the trenches of Europe and the Middle East. The war had a profound impact on Australia, touching every community and family. It claimed the lives of over 60,000 Australians, leaving a legacy of loss and sorrow. The conflict left a scar on the national psyche, a reminder of the cost of war. But it also fostered a sense of national unity, bringing people together in shared grief and pride. The sacrifices made by the Anzacs at Gallipoli became a defining moment in Australian history, symbolising bravery and resilience. It forged a legend of courage and mateship, values that continue to resonate in the Australian spirit. These events helped to shape Australia's national identity, creating a sense of pride and belonging that endures to this day. In the aftermath, Australia began to rebuild, honouring the fallen and commemorating their sacrifices through memorials and national days of remembrance. Anzac Day, observed every April 25th, serves as a poignant reminder of the bravery and sacrifices of those who served, ensuring that their legacy lives on. Today, Australians from all walks of life come together to honour this legacy, reflecting on the past and looking towards a future shaped by the lessons of history. The echoes of distant battles continue to resonate, reminding us of the resilience, unity and enduring spirit that define Australia. Section 10. A nation forged in war. World War II tested Australia's resolve once more. The nation rallied to the Allied cause. Australians fought with distinction in Europe, North Africa and the Pacific. The war came close to home. Japanese forces bombed Darwin and attacked Sydney Harbour. The threat of invasion loomed large. Australians faced the prospect of fighting for their very survival. The war effort transformed Australia. It led to industrial growth. It changed the role of women in society. It strengthened ties with the United States. Section 11. Australia Today. Australia emerged from World War II a changed nation. It was a nation that had proven its strength and resilience. It was a nation on the move. The post-war years saw a period of sustained economic growth. Immigration resumed. Multiculturalism became a defining feature of Australian society. Today, Australia is a thriving democracy. It is a nation proud of its heritage. It is a nation that embraces the future. It is a nation that continues to evolve. It is a nation with a rich history and a bright future.